All right. Is the audio working? I believe that it is. Welcome in, everybody, to the Damascus Gaming Trackmania World Championship Wildcard. Dude, it's been a while since we've been live for an event, man. This is exciting, but we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into this thing. It is all new UI for the Trackmania World Championship. And what you guys are going to see here is a new screen for the pick-in bans. And right now we've already got Valley being banned by the competitors that are going to be facing off against Damascus Gaming, which is Arrow White. We've seen them many, many times. And it is going to be another really good competition between these two squads. So as we can see right now, Arrow White has already banned Valley. Damascus Gaming has banned Dive. DG's first pick is going to be Surf, and now we're going to kind of see here. The next pick is going to be Arrow White picking up G-Force, which I do know that is not going to be what Neal wanted to see. We kind of sat down last night. We're kind of talking about, you know, what tracks the boys are looking forward to competing on, and I will say that G-Force is not one of those tracks. I'm not surprised to see Edge being picked up. Nixotica was talking a lot of good things about Edge. Just kind of working our way through this. So we've got 3 picks so far, with 3 more to go, with the final decider obviously being picked up here by the game itself. So kind of seeing here right now, what is Arrow White going to pick for their second? It's going to be Tempest. Damascus Gaming is up next, man. It is good to be back live on the channel, man. It has been a while. Cosmos being picked up. Interesting. I'm going to give kind of a heads up here. I do not know these tracks at all. So it's going to be kind of a learning experience here, trying to figure out what these tracks are. The boys did kind of give me a little bit of a heads up on some of these, but it's going to be a really good day of competition. And Tubes is going to be the final pick for the teams, with the actual final being Backflip. So we're going to be playing on Surf, G-Force, Edge, Tempest, Cosmos, and Tubes. Man, I am really, really digging the new UI here. And as you can see up here in the top right, by the way, we do have some new sponsors here for the Trackmania World Tour. AMD was also joined by Alienware. Of course, Caporal has been a sponsor of the Trackmania World Tour for a while, but it's excited to see more, you know, sponsors kind of jumping on and seeing the value that Trackmania does bring to the esports side of the house, man. But I am definitely digging the new UI here. Kind of curious to see what the startup is going to look like. If it's anything different than what's already happened. Let's see here. This is going to be a really good matchup here. Arrow White is always a phenomenal team. And I am really liking this new UI, man. Being able to see the names on the bottom left here and checking out the player stats, PBs, all that type of cool stuff. So we'll be able to kind of keep an eye and get real-time feedback on if PBs are being hit or not during these competitions. But we're looking forward to a really, really good day here. And if you are not aware of what is happening right now, so this is Group H for the wild card. So basically these teams are battling to qualify for the actual Trackmania World Cup. We do have 4 teams in this group. We've got obviously Damascus Gaming, Arrow White. We also have Molotov and Exalti playing in this group. And we already see right now Nix and Neal just kind of taking off here. Let's jump back on board here with Neal. I do really like the art style that they kind of brought forward here. Nix right now is really kind of shooting up here in the front. Followed right now by Charles. Nats holding good third place. As they work their way through this first run, Charles and Nats both had to do a respawn there. It is really awesome to actually see the feedback as Nix and Neal come across. Nix with a 1:02.363 and Neal 1.182 behind him. You gotta say, I am loving the new feedback that we've got here. It makes it a lot easier on the caster, which is the Moodle. Hopefully everyone is having a really good day today. And here we go on the second run. Kind of curious to see how it's going to keep kind of playing out here. You know, the first run we did see, you know, Nats and Charles did have to do some respawns here. But if we know anything, and we have definitely seen Nats and Charles multiple times here on the DG live stream, these guys are phenomenal Trackmania players. So kind of curious to see if the dust is still kind of getting worked off here. And kind of seeing a very similar run as we did last time. Nix holding first place, Nats in second, Charles in third with Neal right behind the pack. Oh, and Nats does bump as well as Charles. They both have to respawn here. You can kind of see if you mess up this water part, there's no real way for you to get through without doing a respawn. So it's kind of a get through it right, or you got to keep jumping back. But Nix and Neal once again coming across in first and second. And Damascus Gaming pulls its second ace. 6-0 up against Air White. And the third run begins. Nix has yet to crash, which is really, really good to see here. Neal's about 50% right now. And we do see the jump back a little bit here with Charles. He did have a little bit of a bump, and another bump right here. Unfortunately for the Air White boys, they have been unable to get through this track without bumping or crashing yet. But it's not over. 6-0 is still relatively early in the race. Anything can happen here, but Nix and Neal right now are really coming through with a really good pace on this run. No mistakes have been made yet by either one of them. Coming to the final turn here, straight into the finish line. A little bit of a slower run there by Nix, who's about, you know, a second slower than his, his normal runs here. But still enough to put DG 9-0 with a, 3 back-to-back aces. You really right now, if you're Air White, it's kind of one of these, hey, this isn't our track. Let's kind of reset and hit the next one up, because with this, even if Damascus Gaming doesn't pull an ace, as long as they get a draw or a victory, or even if Air gets a victory, it's still going to put Damascus Gaming over that 10, which is needed to put this track into the pocket of Damascus Gaming. And we're seeing a lot of life right now from Charles here, but it does look like he did bump kind of coming out of there, which does allow Nix and Neal to kind of shoot forward here. Charles and Nats right now are about a half a second behind. We'll see the update here when they come to the checkpoint. Yeah, Nats has really dropped back by about 1.5 seconds. As long as Nix and Neal can come to this final. Oh, and Neal does bump. That's his first real reset. But it's okay as Nixotica shoots across the line. And Charles and Nats both set new PBs respectively. Yeah, I'm really digging the new UI. It really makes it easy to kind of see what's going on here. So this is going to be a really, really good competition. Trackmania is doing some really, really solid work here. Nadeo I like what I'm seeing. I really like what I'm seeing. You put in a lot of good work, and it definitely shows here. All right. Solid, solid, solid. Man, DG coming out strong, man. If you remember the last stream that we had, DG was struggling in that last regional, but to really see the boys who are coming up here, just throwing down, it's good to see it. Now, this is a track that Nats and Charles picked, so I am expecting to see them really throw down. I'm kind of curious to see what Damascus Gaming is going to be able to do here. As we come through. Alright, let's see what we got, man. Gotta see right now, Neal's kind of a little behind the pack. Nixotica's right behind Charles and Nats, so let's jump on board with him right now. Working their way through the dirt and the roads, as both teams are trying to blister towards the finish line. And Nix is able to get some good momentum coming through the dirt here, but Charles and Nats are also maintaining really good. Charles just got to drop off. Nats holding first place. Nix right behind him. Nix did hold a much tighter edge on that turn, as Nix, as always, in the dirt really just gains that momentum and is able to shoot in front. We do see that Neal did have to respawn. Not sure what happened back there, but a mistake of some of... Oh, and Nix, looked like he was trying to go for just a higher entry on that bobsled to make this turn happen. And Nats was able to get across the line first with a 1:15. And Charles coming in behind. So that's going to be an ace here for Air White. And there's Nix coming across the line. That's a really interesting transition, man, going from the bobsled into that turn. Here we come up on the second run. Here we go into the bobsled once again. Kind of a similar start to the last one with Nats and Charles. Charles and Nats holding, first and second. It's kind of like a back and forth between the two of them. As Nix is able to shoot forward, as both Charles and Nats do make a mistake. Neal once again dropping that respawn. Like I said, I'm not really surprised to see it. Neal was not a fan of this track. As Nix is working his way through, coming out of the bobsled into the dirt. Really good transition there, as he's just trying to maintain this first place position. Letting the Air White boys know that this may not be a Damascus Gaming track, but DG is still here and we're still going to throw down as he's working his way into the bobsled. So if he can hit this jump, and he does. He's able to correct. Thought we were going to have a little bit of a turtle situation. He does, unfortunately, make a pretty serious mistake here. This may give them enough time, and it does. Looks like it might be Nats up in front. I can't tell yet. He's going to have to work his way the long route. But he is able to get a second place. This is going to be a victory for Air White. But Damascus Gaming will get a point on the board. We'll see if Neal can get up here, which he's not able to. So it is now 5-1, Air White up by 4 points to Damascus Gaming's 1 little point on the board. So on board here with Nats right now. You can kind of see different stats here on the bottom. You see that Nats is able to pull first place, 33%. Charles has not done one yet. Nixotica is still has the highest percentage for first place runs in this first round. And you can see right now Neal is just kind of spamming the respawns. Nixotica working through the dirt. We see Feisty Noodles jumping into the chat. Welcome in, Feisty. My wife is always here. She's probably downstairs right now watching the stream with the boys. As Nixotica continues to work his way through this track, Nats right now holding a blistering pace up in front. Nailing this turnaround. Can Nix do the same? He does. And he's able to correct that mistake that he did make. No turtling for the legend this time. And there we see, once again, a first place run by Nats. Nixotica behind him by about 3 seconds, and Charles coming in at almost 6 seconds behind Nats' time of 1:15.754.
Victory.
7 points now for Air White. Damascus Gaming has got 2. This is going to possibly be the end of this one. It really depends here. If Charles and Nats can get across the line in first and second, we'll see an ace by them, which will put this track under their control. But it does look like both of them did make, some minor mistakes there. Nick's really at home right now in the dirt as he just works his way through. Coming into the bobsled. And he does have a very rocky exit on that one. It does let Charles get up in front of him here. But he's able to get some momentum back and kind of shoot here in front of Charles. But they are both just right now neck and neck. Nixotica wants this first place. He's got to exit. He does not take the riskier route. Nats does go upside down. Charles now kind of hanging out in front here. But Nix, unfortunately, did not line that up correctly. And that's going to be Charles' first place finish in the wild card. Oh, and Nixotica, unfortunately, makes a pretty serious mistake right there, which is going to give Air White that ace, which is going to give them this one. It is now 1-1 in the first round of the Trackmania World Championship 2023 Wildcard. We got a competition, boys. But it is expected. Air White is a phenomenal team. Everyone that's competing in the wildcard has earned their slot. And if you are looking up the top left, you'll see it says, WR with the time and then the name behind it. That is the current world record holder for the track. I think it's really cool how they actually have that in there. So if you are a Trackmania player, getting that world record, your name is immortalized in all of these streams. All right, first run, here we go. DG holding a really, really good pace. Once again, Nixotica just kind of holding his first place position. We see Neal now coming up right behind him. This is a Damascus Gaming pick. Nix, Charles, and Neal, first, second, and third. And you can already see just off the rip, this is a much more technical track, which is exactly what Nix and Neal live for here. We see Charles actually was able to kind of shoot up in front here. Charles is in first place, Nix in second, Neal in third as they work their way through this bad boy. Charles has got really good momentum going through this first run. Nix does make a mistake. Charles did too, however. It does look like Neal is going to be the first one across with a 106. And it's going to be a draw to start this one off. Neal able to hold that really, really good. consistency on that one. My Feisty, I do not need a Red Bull. I've got a Pepsi upstairs. And no, we are not sponsored by either yet. And the pack right now is all really close together. I love the way this track looks. I love how technical it is. This thing is phenomenal. I am 100% going to have to write down the names of these tracks because I can already see that they did change. You don't see the name of the tracks, so I'm missing that somewhere. But that's okay. We'll get it next time. Nix, Nat, Neal, the 3. Oh, and Nats does make a mistake here as Nix and Neal shoot forward into first and second. See if Nix here can fix a mistake that he made last time. Nats wants to respawn again. It does look like the mistakes have been fixed. Nix and Neal across the line. And Charles pulling a PB. Nix with a 106.516. And Neal about a half a second behind him. That is going to be the first ace for this track by Damascus Gaming. Goes 4-1. Man, we are getting into it now. You can kind of see the pack is still just all together right now. Nix is holding a very, very slim lead as Neal is able to get back up into the front with Nix, kind of getting a little bit of separation here, but it's not by a lot. Really seeing that the practice that both of these guys have been putting in is really, really paying off here. I was a little bit worried there. It did seem like Neal was not lined up, but he was. You see Nats is just not wanting to be left out of the pack, but he does make a mistake. Oh, Neal with a rocky exit out of that, but he's able to get across just barely half a second in front of Charles, but it doesn't matter because as long as you cross that line, the points are going to go to you, and that's exactly what just happened there. Damascus Gaming, another +3, 7-1. Damascus Gaming now has 2 aces. One more ace will put Damascus Gaming up a track over Air White. Oh, that was a hard hit there by Nats. And you will see that a lot too. I mean, if you were watching earlier, you will see that, Neal in the last track was not, being able to keep up there. Nix does have a little bit of a rocky exit on that jump. It did bleed some of his speed, but he's still able to get some momentum and get back into this thing. Let's jump on board with him right now. He is just over 50% when it comes to finishing first place in this round. Neal right now has got a little bit of a slight lead on him. And you can really see, too, 27% crash rate here from Nixotica. I mean, when you go and look at the other racers here, I mean, you can just see the amount of skill that Nix does have. And that's going to be it. Neal actually ends up setting a new PB on that run. 106.332. It really can't be, overstated how impressive it is, to be running PBs in competition. But you'll see that Neal does do that quite often. Nixotica is a lot more of a consistent holding that line. Doesn't really deviate too much unless he really has to. Whereas Neal is not afraid to push the boundaries. He will take a lot more risks, but it does pay off for him, as you just saw in that last run, able to pull a PB. in the Trackmania World Championship Wildcard. It is really, really exciting to see more sponsors now starting to jump on the Trackmania World Tour. I was really hoping to see it. It is no secret that I'm a massive fan of the Trackmania competitive scene. This game is just a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to play. And the cool thing about the Trackmania World Tour is that if you want to get involved in live competition, there are tons of tournaments and events happening all the time. It's not just the Trackmania World Tour. There are a lot of really, really awesome creators and tournament organizers that run events consistently throughout the year. So, get the game, get involved. Back into the action here. We can see the pack right now holding really, really well. Nats and Charles able to kind of hold that side a little better. Unfortunately, Neal does slide out here. It leaves Nixotica now with the pressure to get up in front of Charles and Nats. Nats did have to do a respawn there. It's now up to Charles for Arrow White to gotta get the victory here, but Nixotica also has to do a respawn. Let's see what's going on with Charles here. It seems like he's gonna be the first one across the line here. Unfortunately, Nixotica is also struggling. It seems that Charles is the only one really able to get through it now, and Nats is able to get through too. Just a bunch of struggling here from both sides. The ace does go to Air White. As we go into the second run. Lot of struggling from both sides. Seemed like the only one that was really able to get through unscathed was Charles. Nixotica kind of holding back a little bit more. Timid on this one, not really sure what happened there off that break, but Neal right now is chasing down Nats and Charles as they work their way through. Flipping through the air, going through checkpoints. Really kind of curious right now to see how this one's going to play out. Charles and Nat still in first and second place. Everyone's able to get through on this one. Oh, Neal unfortunately does go low. Charles and Nats are across with PBs. Nats was able to take almost 10 seconds off of that. That is insanity. Knocking that down. About a second off of the current world record held by Nako. I might be saying that name incorrectly, but that is that's insane. Let's jump back on board with the DG boys here. Nix and Neal are saying that we're not out of this one yet. We just got to get through these flips. And it just goes to show, too, man. Like, in Trackmania, like, you're going to have your good tracks and you're going to have your not good tracks. I mean, it's just a part of it. And that's why the pick and ban is such an important thing, because really, like, the strategy of selecting which tracks you're going to compete on can really make or break you. Neal has a little bit of a rocky exit here. Nixotica, Neal really holding on well. They can get through. He does go really wide there. Nats had to do a respawn. Can they both get through this one okay? Nix does bump here with Neal able to get across with a 110. Nix is still Trying to work his way through. That is going to be a draw here. Damascus Gaming does finally get a point on the board, but Air White is now within track point range. It's got to be frustrating for Nix being that close to getting across the line and making that little tiny mistake there. But that is Trackmania, man. These identities are no joke. Nix right now is up in first with Charles in second. Nats, but Charles has got really good momentum coming through. He's able to overtake Nixotica. Nats is not far behind. All four make it through unscathed on the first flip. Charles holding a good first. Nats is just barely in second. Nix just overtakes him with Neal holding fourth. Oh, Nixotica almost falls off the edge there. Into the second flip. Oh, Neal hits hard. It's now up to Nixotica. Unless mistakes are made here from Air White, this might be it. And it's going to be another PP by Nats. Really, really good runs here by Air White, man. You really see Nats really knocking times off his runs. And it's once again all tied up here. The wild card. This first round is neck and neck. Alrighty. You know, I'm actually, when this one gets started up, we're actually going to do a little bit of listening here. I'm kind of curious to see what shenanigans are going on in the team chat. The boys are ripping and raring here. They're both telling me that they really, really want to get this win today. As long as they qualify, they'll be happy. And I agree with them. I really want to see these guys go all the way. Hey, let's go ahead and jump on board here. We'll go ahead and do a listen-in. Kind of see where their mindset is. And we'll be back with the live casting here in a minute.
Nice. Damn, Charles pushed the end.
Dude, I got a fucking no slide in the most random spot. Like right before the first Cosmo or, you know, micro extension.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Full face planted in the wall.
You gotta get Charles on the route.
I did the identity
Crashed.
way better than him. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really did it better than him. I saw you and I thought that was him.
You're so brain dead, dude.
Bro, there's no, you can't see name tags.
You can turn them on, no?
No, I can't turn them on
Oh,
for some
I didn't know
reason. It's not letting me.
You know where we had a mistake, by the way, in picking maps? We should
Where?
have picked Twisted instead of Edge, because they would pick Edge anyways, RPG players.
Yeah, you're right.
They would have made that instead of 2s. We should have been smarter about that.
Mm,
Then we would have had Edge and Twisted on the map back instead of 2s.
That's fine. Let's just focus.
All right. You can really kind of see that Nixotica and Neal are just laser focused. They don't laugh. They don't joke. I mean, they're just fully into this competition. You know, that's really like they're like their staple. They are very, very serious Trackmania players. It always cracks me up, man. Whenever you watch these guys, they're laughing and joking and messing with each other like the entire time. It's always been really fun listening to them just kind of banter back and forth. I do have to say, this track is dope. I'm really enjoying this one. I have never seen the like overhead perspective. And it's a cool thing about the Trackmania track editor. You know, you're really able to go in and change a whole lot about the game. I mean, Trackmania gives you a level of control over all aspects of its gameplay in ways that I personally think is only really rivaled by, you know, Counter-Strike. And it's what I think makes this game such a phenomenal... Oh, unfortunately, that's quite the mess up there by Neal. Is it going to be a draw? It's not. Nats did also make another like big mistake. I do also want to say, too, on the last run that Nats and Charles did have a PB. Those two are really, really pushing it hard in this competition. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I mean, when you look at just the ability and level of control that Trackmania gives you over the experience, it's just, to me, like, unparalleled. You can introduce all types of really cool things into this game. I mean, you know, it's like, I was a Halo fan when I was growing up, and it's been one of the staples that I played over and over, and I remember really, you know, like, being excited with Forge, man. But I gotta tell you, the level of control you have over Trackmania makes Forge just missed out on a bunch of really cool things. But man, we really see right now, Neal and Nix are just gunning forward. Unless we get a little bit of life out of Air White and they start running this perfectly, this will be the third track that Damascus Gaming takes. We'll put them one track over Air White. Neal holding first with Nix in second place. Unfortunately, it does look like Charles is out of this one. He's about 10 seconds behind the leader. Nats trying to stay in this one as they work their way. Oh, and Neal does make that mistake. Was able to correct to get across with the ace. Damascus Gaming will have 12 to Air White's 3. And that puts the third track into Damascus Gaming's deck of cards. It's all going to come down to this one to see if Damascus Gaming can securely knock Air White out, or if it's going to be a massive fight for the victory. Every time I see Pipes, man, I always think about Aero Pipes in that first regionals. And by the way, if you ever want to go back and watch all of the Trackmania streams and competitions that Damascus Gaming has been a part of, you can go watch those live stream VODs. The first few are going to be up on our Twitch at Damascus Esports. But all the current and future ones are now on our YouTube channel. Because we done switched on over to YouTube. Let's see where Neal's at on this run right now. Charles, Nixotica, yo! I thought they were all falling off, but that was a purpose-driven move. And the internet is starting to spike a little bit here. Not sure if that's on my end, or on the racer's end, or on the server end. But Neal and Nix, first and second respectively, working their way through. This one is intense. Very, very arrow pipe feel to this one, man. Oh, Nix is... Oh! I thought he had it. I thought he was going to fix it. He's trying to turtle his way across. Charles makes it. Can he turtle? He can! Trackmania Mutant Ninja Turtles, baby.
Victory.
Let's go. Nix works his way across. Nix and Neal really trying to end this one right here and now. Nixotica does make a pretty good mistake right there. Has to do a respawn. Charles is up in first place with Neal right behind him. He does have a little bit of a slowdown because his front left tire kind of bumped a little bit there. Charles holding a really good line. If Neal can catch up, remains to be seen. Both Nats and Nix are kind of in the same predicament right now. Nats is back by 5. Nix is back by about 5.5. Kind of keep an eye on that ticker in the left, and we'll see if he's able to work his way forward. Nix is gaining slightly on Nats here as Neal is kind of in the same position against Charles. Charles does make a little bit of a mistake here. Does give Neal a chance to work his way forward. They're now neck and neck on the tires, but Neal does make a mistake, unfortunately, gunning a little bit too hard there. And it gives Charles a chance to get across the line first here. Now it depends on... Oh, PBs from both Air White, Charles, and Nats.
Victory.
And it's all tied up 3-3. Damascus Gaming and Air White. These teams have faced each other a bunch of times over the regionals. And they both want the win really bad here. Yeah, this track gives me serious Aero Pipe vibes. All four of these racers trying to move forward and not make mistakes, but Nats does make a pretty serious mistake there. Neal was able to correct before he hit the same spot that Nats did. Nixotica and Charles right now are just neck and neck on this thing. Charles will get across first with Nix right behind him. Looks like Neal did make a mistake, but he's able to get across and force a draw. Charles once again with another PB. Let's look at this right now. 105.235. Let's see where Nix and Neal are. So Nix does have the best PB on this track. Charles is right behind him. But it's not about the PBs, it's about consistently getting across the line. You can have the greatest PB on this track, but if you can't do it consistently, it doesn't mean anything in competition. Consistency is the most important thing. If you can maintain that with a solid pace, you'll get wins. You can see Nix and Charles, man, are just battling for first place right now. This is one of those races where it's the small little tiny mistakes that will put you behind. Charles, man, is really gunning for this. He knows that he has to win this. This is a do or die. And Nix able to come across right behind him. Another draw here. We're going 5-5 now. Nats is struggling on this one. But all it takes. Apparently my little boy is downstairs cheering for Nix and Neal. Nix working his way forward. The pack is super close right now. There is almost no separation between all four of them. As we work our way through, you'll see the separation start to grow more and more. Charles is kind of holding a third place. Nats kind of up in front right now. He does make a little bit of a bump there. Nix up in front. Neal able to shoot up in front of him. But Nats and Charles don't want to be left behind. Come right back up in front as well. Neal did have a bit of a slowdown there. Not Neal, Nixotica did. This is where it gets intense. Neal has got to maintain this right now. If they can get a ace or a victory. Charles able to shoot up in front though here. He does make a mistake. Oh, Nix does too. Oh my goodness, the names change, but the points stay the same. Whoo! Charles was the only one that kept the same on that run right there. Man, I thought that was going to be a different result at the end of that race. That one was a close one. Let's see what we got, man. These teams are just fighting it out for this victory. Air White knows they've got to pull this if they want to advance into the next race. Damascus Gaming pulls this victory. Air White is eliminated. Nats will do a respawn there. I believe Neal's right behind Charles as he is. Nixotica did make a mistake. It looks like these, man, Damascus Gaming and Air White are just matched up so evenly on this one. It's really going to come down to who makes a mistake first. Oh no. And that is the ace that Nats was looking for. Damascus Gaming is now in a precarious situation, with Nats actually pulling a PB on that run. Damascus Gaming has got to be perfect on this run. If there are any mistakes made by either Nixotica or Neal, it is going to put this track firmly into the hands of Air White. There's got to be an ace by the DG boys, but Charles is trying to shut that down. Oh, Nix does bump. It might give Charles what he needs, and it does. Charles is in position to put this one away. Unless a mistake is made by him, which it looks like there's not a mistake made. And that is it. This track goes to Air White. We are going to the last track.
Draw.
Man, you want to talk about just an absolutely insane way. We're going into the fourth. I take that back. We're going in to the seventh track here. Absolutely insane. We're going to jump right back into this, but I just want to say, like, this is what Trackmania is all about. Like, this is when I get excited. This is when it gets intense. Start rooting for the DG boys, because it comes down to this. Gonna see now which team has what it takes. And here we go. We're gonna jump right into a listen in here, see what's going on with the boys. We'll be back in a bit.
Fucking landing bug. Are you kidding me?
Hey, look. Take a breather. Stop crying. That sucks at this map.
Dude, I can't finish. I can't finish. What the fuck?
Just double.
Dude. Oh my god. I'm quitting Trackmania. I'm not even lying this time. I'm quitting the game. This is so ass. These maps are so dog shit.
Okay, let's just win this match then. both made it. Oh no, they did.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Draw.
Alright, we can still win this.
Bro, stupid ass map, bro. Can't even make the jump and get a slow bug
I'm
slide.
first somehow. All of you failed the bug slide, so you can still catch up.
Yeah, you just have to wait.
Didn't get the landing bug that time, thank fucking God.
Nice.
Did you get it? Ah, damn.
That's a double respawn.
Draw.
Nice. Slide out. Nice. Way to make a map. Just where there's pure idiots in this game.
God.
Did you fly off there?
No, I slammed straight into the fucking pipe. Whatever, I don't even know.
Nice.
GG.
Yeah, this is GG for sure. 108.5?
Oh man, the struggle bus is real. Air White able to pull an ace, 2 PBs for Charles and Nats. It is not over yet though. The boys are struggling, but it's not over until the game says one winner. We'll see what happens here. It's still up for grabs. Nix did have to respawn there. If Nats and Charles do get across the line with an ace, it's going to end this one right here. See what happens as they work their way through. Neal does make a pretty good mistake there. It's looking like this one, unless there's some serious mistakes here by the Air White boys. Oh, Nats does make a pretty good error right there. Charles still working his way forward. Nixotica's got Nats in his sights now. Nats had to respawn again. Nix might be able to get up and stop this ace. He is able, looks like, to overtake him here. Neal's pretty far behind. Charles had to respawn as well. Charles makes it across. Nix makes a mistake himself. The ace is denied. Can they stop the victory? Looks like it's not going to happen here. Air White is 1 point away from securing the first round. Nats and Charles up in first and second right now, with Neal up in third. Nick's kind of holding up in the back right now, working their way through. Oh, Nick's got some life and I'm coming up into first place with Nats in second. But they've got to get an ace. Oh, Neal unfortunately makes a pretty good mistake. If there was a time to capitalize on Charles being in the back, this was it. And that's going to be it here. Air White does take down Damascus Gaming in the first round. I've got to figure out if this was, if it's a Swiss style, or if this is elimination. Because the brackets were kind of confusing, I'm not going to lie. But GG's to Air White, man, pulling that victory. And I know that they were doing a live stream, but they were live streaming ours, so I'm not sure. Let's jump over here to the casting screen so I can see my face here. Let me figure out what's going on here with this. But we will, I'll tell you what, we will be back here in a minute when I figure it out. Stand by. Let's see what we got going on. Kind of waiting for this one to kick off here. We do have the... I believe it's going to be second right here. Let me just verify I'm in the right one. The match is starting. I think. Match is interrupted. Oh, no. Match was interrupted. Got a little bit of a reset here. Kind of standing by to see what happens right now. We will stand by for a minute while they do that. Oh, hope everyone is doing good today, though. It is not over yet, man. As long as we get through the next one, we are facing off against Exalti. We are still in this. Air White is always a phenomenal team, though. Nats and Charles, man, they are absolutely no joke. What's going on, Aravine? How you doing, boss? Hope you're having a phenomenal start to your Sunday morning. Damascus Gaming just faced off against Air White. We did lose the first one. It was 4-3. Very, very close. But it's not over yet. Updating the Twitter. All right. Boom. Is this thing started yet? Possibly. Stand by. Alright, waiting for players. Cool! I do believe... Yeah, this is us. Okay. It is I, Ken Moodles. I am the CEO of Damascus Gaming. I am not a caster, so this is more or less just got like a little bit of a watch party. I do not pretend to call myself a caster. I just am obviously a massive fan of DG since I own the company, and I love watching the boys race. So it's going to be DG, it's going to be going up against Exalti. And we're going to see what happens here, man. It looks like all the players have loaded in right now. We're just kind of waiting for everybody. And we're going to get into this thing, man. It's going to be dope. But thank you so much for joining us. Really been enjoying the new UI, man, for all this stuff, dude. Like, Nadeo actually killed it for this. I love how they set up everything. Makes it really easy to be able to keep up with all the action, being able to see who's getting PBs, being able to see the percentages. It really does make a difference. And it's little small things, too, like being able to see like who is doing respawns and things like that. Like, they've really knocked it out of the park with this one. I've been waiting to see something like this for a while, man. Oh, it's Daniel Teskey. I'm already in the... Oh, yeah, I mean, for that, yeah. No, I appreciate you, boss. I'm under the Damascus Gaming, like, Wikipedia page for the owner of the organization. But I appreciate you. Super excited, man, for all this stuff to keep moving forward. Alright, man. We got about a minute 20 before this bad boy kicks off. We can kind of look down the ground here and see all the awesome different logos that we've got going on for people that are... Keep going backwards, man. Come on, there we go. There we go. You can kind of see all the cool stuff we got. As I said before, I'm hoping to see a lot more sponsors kind of start popping up. AMD and Alienware have joined Caparol, which I think is like just phenomenal. I really want to see a lot more sponsors pick this up because Trackmania to me is just a phenomenal esport, and I want to see a lot more come out of it. I will say that Damascus Gaming is looking to host a LAN here next year. We've already got the spot reserved. We just got to start working on all of the logistics and whatnot, but I'll be bringing more of that up here in the future. But it's going to be hopefully a rather large North American LAN, which obviously will be open to the NCSA. Really hoping to bring that stuff forward here, because we need to get more big things popping for the North, Central, and South American region, man. Trackmania is going to grow. Well, we got about 5 seconds now before the pick and ban begins. Exalty is up first on the pick. I mean, sorry, on the ban, I should say. Tubes is gone. Damascus Gaming is going to breathe a sigh of relief to see that one knocked out. Dive is the next one gone. Damascus Gaming has the first pick. And it is going to be... Drum roll, please. Valley. Not really surprised to see Valley getting picked up by the boys. See what Exalty grabs. G-Force. Alright, Valley and G-Force are going to be our first two. Surf's going to be the third. Second pick by Damascus Gaming. We're up to the second pick now by Exalty. Twisted is their pick. Damascus Gaming's last pick of this pick and ban. Edge is going to be theirs. Not surprised at all. The boys do really like Edge a lot. They've been practicing on that one. Let's see what the final pick by the teams is going to be. Exalty is grabbing backflip, and Tempest is picked by the game itself. There we go. All right. What's going on, Dion? How you doing, man? Welcome in. Oh, and by the way, if you guys did not know this, Damascus Gaming actually has, if you go up to the little merch, so we got merch, and I think it's support. I hope. There we go. Bam. All right. If you go to the Sector 6, by the way, Nixotica and Neal both do have their own merch. You do not have to buy Damascus Gaming merch. One of the things we're trying to do is I'm trying to make specific player merch so that you can support the players. And by the way, if you buy that merchandise, you know, a percentage of that does go straight to Nix and Neal, which I think is really, really cool. I've been trying to do this up for a while. So, you know, shout out to Sector 6 for helping us build their merchandise up. And then obviously if you want to support DG directly, you can obviously buy Damascus Gaming merch, or you can go to our Patreon, and we've got our subscriptions set up through there for all of our content. So if you want to go drop a subscription to Damascus Gaming, you know, you don't have to do it through, you know, the streaming platforms. You can do it directly to Patreon. We did that simply because we were hoping to get a little bit more continuity across the platforms, so when you subscribe, you know, you don't have to have 45 different subscriptions across everywhere that we post things to. So just kind of make it easier on everybody. The Patreon is how we decided to do that. And here we go, man. First race of the losers brackets for the Trackmania World Championship 2023 Wildcard. We got Exalty versus Damascus Gaming. I believe Maquatro is how you pronounce that name, and Link showing up here for Exalty. We got Maquatro right now up in first place, Nixotica in second. Neal kind of overtaken right now. Nixotica got a little bit of a rough exit there by Maquatro, but he's able to maintain it. Link a little bit of a bump. Nixotica still right now holding third, battling that out now with Link for second place, as Neal is kind of in the back here. We're gonna jump on board right now with Nixotica to kind of see from his perspective as they work their way through. Maquatro holding a really good pace right now as they work their way through this first run on Valley. Nixotica is really trying to catch him at this moment. Does look like Link did have a little bit of a mistake. He's back by about 5 seconds right now. Neal about a second and a half by Maquatro, but only a second behind Nix. As they all come across the line, it's going to be a draw here for this first run.
Draw.
1-1. DG Exalty. And I am completely and totally in love with this UI. I know I keep saying it, man, but if you've been watching these streams, the UI for the first and second regionals left a lot to be desired. To see Nadeo throw some work into it makes the Moodle very, very happy. And here we go on this second run on Valley. McQuattro and Link holding first and second respectively, with Nixotica right behind. Neal is right behind Nixotica. A little bit of a separation between the pack right now as Nix does kind of bump and Neal does go wide. Jumping back on with Nixotica here as McQuattro and Link are still up in the front here. Nixotica's got to chase these two down if he wants to prevent the ace from happening. Unfortunately, does make a bump there, which is going to making this jump very difficult. Able to wrap around here, but it does bump again. Unfortunately, it does look like this one, unless there are mistakes from McQuattro and Link, it's going to go the direction of Exalti for this ace. We'll jump on board here with Link. That's what's going on here. And yeah, it is going to be a ace from the Exalti side. Link does get a PB on this one, shaving off a quarter of a second. Let me see Neal just completely overshooting the checkpoint. And it is an ace by Exalti, 4-1. 3 points over Damascus Gaming as we go into the next run here. Jump back on board here with Neal. You'll see the pack right now is just kind of all together, holding hands as they work their way through on this third run. I believe that Nix might have a little bit of a bump there, but he's able to kind of stay up here with the leaders. Still no real clear separation at any point. Either team kind of break away. But Exalti is maintaining that first and second position pretty consistently right now. Around the bend they go, where they stop. We all know, because they're coming out this side as Link now takes first place. McQuattro in second, Neal in third. Nixotica still kind of hanging out here in the back. Link, McQuattro, Neal, and Nixotica. Link once again with another PB here. This man knocking down time off of his official time. As we go into the fourth run, it's been back-to-back aces now by Exalti. 7-1, they put themselves in track point position. Neal and Nix have got to get some life into them if they want to prevent it from ending right here on this first track. Oh, Nix does have a really hard bump on that front right tire, as Neal now has to battle down with McQuattro and Link to prevent the ace. And he unfortunately also has a pretty good bump now. Nixotica's got to take that position to fight this one out as we work our way through. McQuattro and Link looking really solid right now for the Exalti team. Coming once around the bend. McQuattro does bump a little bit there. Might give Nix a little bit of an edge to get in. But McQuattro's able to kind of hold it off for a second here. Nixotica having a little bit of a rocky exit on that one. Link did have to respawn. McQuattro does make a mistake, allowing Nix to get up and get across the line here first. Where is Neal? The responding ace by Damascus Gaming. It is now 4-7. Exalti still obviously within track point here. Kind of curious to see what's going on from the Damascus Gaming perspective. Let's jump in with the listen in here.
Clip this, make this the whole match. This is it.
109.86 is so fucking depressing. Like 0.8 is my best.
And I will jump in here and say, if you saw that link, did have a little bit of a mess up here. Not sure if that ace kind of got into Exalti's head here. Oh, Neal makes a massive, massive mistake right there, unfortunately. Jump over here now with Nixotica as he's battling Maquatro for first place.
Dog shit match.
Link right now fighting hard to try to get up in front. Can Nixotica maintain it? Maquatro is able to kind of get up in front here.
And I'm dead.
Oh, Nix with the mistake there, unfortunately. Neal now has to kind of get up here.
8.
Dead again?
Can
Link is
Nixotica...
also dead? Link is dead again? You can draw this? Just finish?
Yeah.
Nice.
And the draw. It does give Damascus Gaming 1 point, but it also puts Exalti 1 point closer.
I mean, that would have been a draw anyway, actually, so doesn't matter.
Would it not have been? Would have been a victory for them.
I mean, like, if I hadn't failed at all.
You can really kind of see here, man, this one is really quite the fight right now between the Exalti squad and Damascus Gaming. Exalti obviously has a really good position. If they pull an ace or a victory, it ends it right now. But Damascus Gaming has kind of gotten back involved with this one. Maquatro goes wide. Link now has all the pressure on him. Oh, and Neal does bump as well as mistakes on both. Can Nixotica get enough momentum now to launch himself in front of Link? That is going to be the question here. Like I've said, it's got to be a victory or an ace from Exalti to make this one work. It looks like there are mistakes now on all sides. Link is across the line first. Neal working his way. And a draw once more by Damascus Gaming. Maquatro just seems like he made a pretty good mistake and was not able to correct it. But Exalti is now 1 point away. Damascus Gaming has got to race perfectly twice. It's got to be 2 back-to-back aces now from DG. Or I'm actually mistaken. I take that back. It'd be an ace by Damascus Gaming followed by a victory or an ace. But pressure building a little bit here for Exalti. Pressure's been here for Damascus Gaming, though, pretty much since that first ace was dropped by Exalti. So we'll see how these teams kind of respond to the mounting pressure on this first track, as Link is holding first place, Neal in second, Nixotica in third. Maquatro back by about half a second from the pack here. Link right now is looking really solid on this run. If there is no mistakes from him, he's going to throw this one straight into the basket. No mistake from Link. Can Nix get enough momentum to get in front of him? It's going to be close! But not close enough for Damascus Gaming. Link does make this one happen. First track goes to Exalti.
Victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a quick little restroom run real fast. I'll put it on to the listen in here. I'll be back in a moment.
They are playing Twisted, Molotov and they are playing Twisted. Ah.
Wait, do you have it on the second monitor? Or are you just checking it?
I just checked.
Okay.
Maybe I can finish a run this time.
Quick welcome in to Nos. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, man. Welcome in to the Damascus Gaming stream. Obviously, by the title, we are streaming the Trackmania World Championship Wildcard. Damascus Gaming did go down to Arrow White by 1 track, and now they're battling it out in the losers bracket against Exalti. McQuattro and Link right now in first and second, as Nixotica is trying to get up in front of at least one of them here. Neal
I tried.
is struggling on G-Force. Let's jump back in here just to do casting for the time being here. And the first ace here for Exalti. Oh, next with the bump, unfortunately. That's going to allow Link and McQuattro to work their way up. G-Force has not really been a track right now for DG. They really struggled with this one in the upper bracket. And they are definitely struggling with it here against Exalti right now. But it is okay because there are still more tracks to race here. It's definitely been interesting so far. I would definitely agree. I was expecting Damascus Gaming to take it over Arrow White, but Nats and Charles definitely brought the heat this morning. But then again, I mean, Nats and Charles, they are two phenomenal Trackmania players. I mean, you really cannot underestimate those. I mean, like, you can't underestimate them. I mean, like, they're just phenomenal guys. And they've been really working hard to show up for these things. I have mad respect for Nats and Charles, man. Arrow White is one phenomenal squad. I'm really hoping that they get picked up here by somebody, you know, that can really take them to the next level here. So I am hoping that Damascus Gaming does take this thing and get his Exalti, man. I really do want to see them go all the way into the actual World Championship. But McQuattro and Link right now are both looking really, really solid here. Yeah, I mean, you really have to just, I mean, give credit where it's due. I mean, Nats and Charles are just really fun to watch. I've really enjoyed, you know, being able to spectate the NCSA regionals. I mean, that's, you know, it's probably like one of the best parts of my job is watching these events. I'm obviously will always be biased towards Damascus Gaming. I mean, obviously, like, I own the organization. I'm always gonna be biased towards my team. But just because I am biased does not mean that I do not have respect for the other teams, man. Like, the NCSA regionals are a lot of fun to watch. All the teams that compete. It's just a good time, man. Trackmania is really fun to spectate. And, oh, Link does make a mistake. It does allow Nixotica to stop the aces from happening. It's still looking like, unless Neal can get up here. Nope, that's going to be another victory in the hands of Exalti. So it's now going to be 8-1.
Victory.
But yeah, no, I definitely would love to see a lot more spectating happening on the NCSA regionals. I think, you know, Challengers and the Grand League, man, are a lot of fun to watch, but there's a lot of heart and passion that takes place in the regionals, and that's all over the world, too. I mean, like, these teams really work hard to get to the levels that they're at, and Trackmania as a whole is just fun to spectate, it's fun to play. I tell people all the time, man, if you want to get into a really good game, come check out Trackmania. I mean, it is a phenomenal community, and I think Trackmania has what a lot of other games should start looking into, which is, you know, the ability to edit and an open source a lot. I mean, I was saying it earlier, Counter-Strike is just one of those games that is so popular because it's a skill level game, but it's also the open source allows you to do whatever you want. So, Trackmania is the same thing. Llama, man, my caster is here, baby. What's up, Llama? But Trackmania holds a very, very special place in my heart. And I really want to see this game continue to grow. And it's why, you know, Damascus Gaming is working right now, I said a little bit earlier, of trying to host a LAN here in North America. We've already got a bunch of things working towards it. And we're excited to bring more out as we get closer to that date next year. But we've got, you know, some really, really awesome facilities, a really good main stage already kind of being set up. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this thing is going to go. And Exalty does take G-Force. I did kind of expect that to happen. Exalty's now up 2-0 to Damascus Gaming. We will see now if DG can get some life and turn this thing around. And here we go, man. First run on Surf. I'm not really sure what that camera was doing. What's going on, Simple Joe? Hopefully I said that name right, my man. Hope you're doing good, brother. Dude, Exalty is looking really, really strong right now, man. Mad respect to Exalty. You guys are looking phenomenal. See right now, Link kind of holding that good first place. Nixotica right behind him. A Quattro right now in third. Kind of see how this one goes right now, man. I mean, Exalty's 2-0. Damascus Gaming is yet to answer with the track. Oh, McQuattro does go off wide there right now. Link now has the pressure to kind of get him from Nixotica as he bumps it right now as well. 2 respawns on the Exalty side. Nixotica holding first. Neal now in second place. Yeah, man, I mean, 100%. Like, you can definitely see it right now. Nix and Neal. A few mistakes from both of them right now, but they are able to pull the ace on this one. As you see right now, Link's able to come across in third place for the Exalty team. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see it. I mean, that's one of the cool things that I will say about this is being able to see different teams from kind of like all over the place being able to compete together. But man, this is going to be a really intense race right now. And Neal does go hard out right now. Link is fighting right now with Nixotica for first. As Nix does do a respawn here, so puts Link and McQuattro in place to respond with an ace of their own. Yeah, I know Nix and Neal have really been trying to battle to get up into the Challenger League. Their last promo relegation, unfortunately, did not go the way that we were hoping. But we're still working to get up to that level right now. As I think Link did have a little bit of a mistake. He was able to punch through. But both McQuattro and Link right now are looking really solid on this run. As long as McQuattro can maintain, he'll be across first here with Link right behind him. And they are able to do it. Exalti does respond with their own ace now, 3-3. But Exalti is up 2-0. Yeah, Llama, these tracks, man, have actually been really, really awesome to spectate. It is now 3-3. Damascus Gaming has got to start showing some serious life if they want to take this thing to Exalti. But yeah, man, we're just enjoying some Trackmania competition this morning, man. I love just being able to spectate. It's a really good time. I definitely am not a competitor, man. I'll say that all day long, man. Any one of these players would annihilate me on any one of these tracks. If I could even finish one of these tracks would be something to behold. Oh, and Neal, unfortunately, once again with the mistake there. The pressure now comes down in Nixotica to maintain this first place with McQuattro literally right on him. I mean, you can see McQuattro just kind of clipping in and out of the screen here. Pressure is on. McQuattro and Nixotica are almost tire on tire coming through as Nixotica makes a mistake, allowing McQuattro and Link to come up and get the ace. 6-3 now. As Exalti is just muscling Damascus Gaming right now.
Ace.
6-3. Damascus Gaming does need to pull this track. If we do not get a point on this one, it's going to be quite the mountain to climb. And with the caliber of players that Exalti is fielding right now, you do not want to be in that kind of a deficit. Link does have to do a respawn here. Not sure what mistake happened back there, but McQuattro and Nixotica are now locked in a battle for first place with McQuattro holding it. Neal is right behind, holding a good solid third place, as I think Link might be out of this one unless there's a serious mistake by either Nixotica or Neal. But in Trackmania, anything can happen. Let's kind of jump in a little bit on listening here. Let's kind of see what's going on from the player's perspective.
My God, he's on time.
Yeah, I had a 102 low, and that wasn't even close.
Woo! PB by McQuattro.
Draw.
Alright, don't say thanks. It's fine.
I guess, I mean, I don't know, it wasn't even that good of a time.
400 rounds, good. Getting 101s in rounds.
We're in the World Cup, bro. Should be 1-0. The fact that we're getting 102s only is fucking dog ass.
And Damascus Gaming is able to stop the ace from happening, but the victory still goes to Exalti. They are now in a really good position here. Damascus Gaming has got a race perfect for the rest of the time, with Exalti having 9 to Damascus Gaming's 5.
Victory.
Really a precarious position to be in here for the Damascus Gaming squad, as Exalti has just come out swinging. They definitely want to qualify, as does every team, for the World Championship. So the question now is, can Damascus Gaming get some life? Can Nix and Neal respond to the gauntlet that has been thrown in their faces by Exalti? Or is Exalti just going to continue to run away with this one and dash the dreams of the Damascus Gaming squad? We will see here in the next few minutes. But you can really see right now the Knicks holding a really good first place position with McQuattro and Link still fighting it out with them right now. It's really neck and neck. Any mistakes from their side is really going to be a problem. And it does look like Knicks did have a little bit of a slowdown. That's going to give Link actually a PB, knocking .121 off of his time and giving Exalti this third track. Damascus Gaming has yet to pull a track from Exalti. And Exalti is now in match point position. Man, look how good that like Damascus Gaming car looks though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that, dude, that skin though. Woo! I think the skin alone knocks time off your car. I mean, like, off your track runs. I'm, like, pretty sure. Although, I will say this, to... Oh, okay, that's what's wrong, so. To the guy that was using our skin to cheat, in, different, track of the days, by the way, yeah, screw you, dude. We all saw you. Defiling the Damascus Gaming skin like that. Gotta hate cheaters, man. You gotta hate them. Oh, Neal unfortunately does bump on his front left tire as Nixotica is able to kind of shoot forward here. Man, major speed as McQuattro is able to shoot up in front here. And Neal bumps once again. McQuattro holding a really solid first place position now with Nixotica in second. We'll see the update on the ticker here. Yeah, the pack is still kind of in the same position right now as McQuattro, Nixotica, Neal, and Link all battle each other for this first place. Curious to see right now. And there it is, a victory by Exalti. McQuattro with a really good 106.589. Nixotica was only 0.1 behind him. You know what I'm thinking? I think we go back in for another listen in here.
Damn.
Draw.
You had a pretty decent time there.
Yeah, would have been 0.6, but...
No, man.
Damn, what happened?
Draw.
No, I just got airtime on the last turn. That's all.
Mm.
I lost so much. A situation, man. Shit.
Yeah, we can win this one for sure.
I'm mud.
I'll push. They're both right in tandem, but it's fine. Got no slide right into the wall. That's hilarious.
That rarely ever happens.
Happens to me all the time when I'm pushing. Because it's like you're trying to. I don't know what it is. It's just something about the curvature of that block there.
So there's no way you would have won that round anyways.
True.
And hearing that Arrow White just lost, which is actually kind of surprising, man. Arrow White is, I'm actually really surprised to see that. I actually was hoping to see Arrow White go all the way and qualify. They're not out of it just yet. I really want to see Arrow White go all the way, man. Yeah, unfortunately, kind of seeing it right now. Damascus Gaming is really just struggling on this one. Exalti is just a phenomenal squad, man. Like, I mean, you can't say anything bad about them. I mean, like, Quattro and Link are just two phenomenal racers. Like, mad respect for these two, man. Like, they are just dominating in this one. You know, Nix and Neal, they're doing their absolute best, but you gotta show respect where it's due. Exalti's a good team. Air White, good team. But we love our boys, and we're going to stand by them, man. Really hope that they can pull something out right now, but Quattro and Link, just a dominating show by these two. All those hundreds and thousands of hours, man, of just working to become the best, you know, it does pay off. You know, and Nixotica and Neal have both been practicing a bunch, but you can definitely see that Exalti pulled out the win on this one. 4-0. Damascus Gaming does fall to Exalti, man. GG's Exalti. Quattro and Link, you guys are phenomenal racers, man. Wish you guys the best. You guys go forward. And I do think that might be it for the DG squad in the wild card. I'll have to double check it. But just give me a second here. We'll kind of jump over here. GG's to the boys, though. Alright, everybody, we'll be right back. Let me verify what's going on here. Even if we are eliminated, I'm going to kind of keep the stream going so we can kind of jump in and watch. Yeah, Simple Joe, man. GG's to Exalti, man. No, man. Hey, dude. No worries, boss. To the winner goes the spoils, man. Good racing by Exalti, man. Phenomenal team. Absolutely awesome, man. Performance by these guys. But we'll be right back. Let me figure out what's going on here. And stand by. Even if we are out, I'm going to pull up the Trackmania esports stream being done by none other than Randomized. Josh is a close friend of mine, man. The dude is phenomenal. But we'll be right back here. Stand by for a moment.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology.
Yeah. We are 100% not giving Spotify the chance to advertise. Oh, man, that's funny. All right, we are going to go live over and show some support. Because we're on YouTube, unfortunately, I cannot do the host that I would like to do. We are done, by the way, streaming on Twitch. We are fully over on the YouTubes. But we're going to jump over here. I want to show some support here to Trackmania Esports because my man right now is streaming. They do have about a 3-minute and 30-second break before they get back into the stream. But guys, I do really want to talk about this for a second, right? So, Damascus Gaming has a lot of stuff coming for Trackmania. If you are an NCSA fan, we do have some major events that we're going to be hosting coming up, including a LAN. There is a LAN coming next year, and we're working on getting this thing to happen. The goal is to host it on El Paso Community College grounds. They've got an entire center out there. They've offered it to us because we're working on a whole bunch of partnerships and things with them, as well as across El Paso, right? So Damascus Gaming is a little bit different than other esports organizations, right? We are not trying to dominate the world. We're trying to dominate in El Paso, right? And really build out infrastructure here, right? So everything that is Damascus Gaming happens here locally in El Paso. We've got LAN centers that we're getting ready to launch here pretty soon as well. So there's a bunch of big things coming out, right? So all of that being said, keep your finger on the pulse of DG. Subscribe to our Twitter. Subscribe to our X now is what it's called. Subscribe to our YouTube, man. Come check us out. Join our Discord. We got a bunch of really big things that are happening. We do not just compete, by the way, in Trackmania. We also compete in Mortal Kombat. We've got King Gambler, Shuleta, and Poseidon. All of those guys are top level competitors in Mortal Kombat. Gambler just won one of the a very large Mortal Kombat tournament, actually one of the first, and Shuleta's been dominating as well. So we've got a lot of really good things that are happening right now. But I say all that to say this, man. Come follow and support Damascus Gaming. We are all about giving back to the esports community and giving back to El Paso. We really want to blow this thing up. So yeah, come check us out, man. The links are all in the chat. But we're going to keep this thing kind of going live, kind of restreaming what's going on right now with the Trackmania Esports. But man, dude, absolutely phenomenal demonstrations, man, by both Air White and Exalti. Neal, man, what's going on, brother, dude? Do not hang your head low. You guys did well. I am not bummed out. I mean, obviously, would love to see you guys go all the way, but it was a really good tournament nonetheless. We're kind of waiting still for this timer to drop all the way down. But yeah, man, we've got a bunch of really good stuff that's happening here. I'm going to go ahead and shut down a few of the things I got going on in the background right now. But yeah, man, it's exciting, man, to kind of get back into the streaming side of the house. We have not had any streams or content really coming out of the DG side simply because there hasn't really been a whole lot of competitions, but we're looking to get back into that stuff. Neal, by the way, if you want to hang out for a minute, man, I'll be back in the chat here in a second, dude. But yeah, man, it's exciting to get back into the swing of things. There is going to be a little bit of a break, though, because as you kind of guessed, Damascus Gaming will not be competing in at least the Trackmania World Tour until January. So be kind of standing by for that. But there will be other competitions that we'll be streaming here. I do want to kind of get in and see if I can support Neal and Nix as they do like some of their solo competitions. And dude, Randomize just knocked the timer back to a minute. Come on, Josh. What are you doing, bro? This man loves to mess with me. I actually just realized, though, I don't even think I have the right... Oh, dude. Stand by. The Moodles might have actually not put up... Did I put Google Chrome as the stream? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, let's do this. Let's see if I did this right. I did not do this right. Hang on a second. We gotta fix this. This is just sad. All right, there we go. Aha! Let's go ahead and knock this off.
What do you have in your hand, Gritty?
It's a small
All right,
cactus
everybody.
that I got for my birthday.
Oh,
We
there
will
you go.
see you
Perfect.
all
It's
in
a
the
little
next
bucket.
one.
Look how tiny it is. Look how tiny the little bucket is. Little cactus. is
Enjoy
marching along
the
with you.
stream.
There you
We'll
go.
see you all next
There's
time.
plenty of cactuses, cacti, I should say, on these maps. So he's right at home with them. But yeah, we are here on the final match. This is it. This is Air versus Molotov to move out of the group stage, the first group stage, I should
Molotov?
say. Not Molotov, sorry. I saw a red car. They're already in. Molotov has made it. My apologies. It is Exalti. I'm still on that last match. I'm very upset about that last match. But anywho, we have Exalti versus Air to move on. NCSA's second to last hope. And, you know, we saw the last match. It was 4-0 for both teams. Right? Molotov 4-0'd Air. Exalti 4-0, Damascus Gaming. So now, what do we expect going into this one?
I mean, I'm expecting the thing to be that, given how it was said that how close affair it was, or very to some extent a very close affair between Ignite and Huso, and Miquatro and Link, that Air White have a tough task still on their hand. It's not going to be an easy one because they are going up against players who are of very high caliber. Yes, they maybe didn't have the guts to go up against Huzo and Ignite's preparation, but they have definitely the experience, and that is something that a lot of players usually get to bank on. And it does work out for them, and whether it will actually work out for Mikotro and Link, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, of course, we are waiting for everybody to join the server, but I'm excited because I'm hoping for Mikotro to do well. I love the guy. Whether Link will do so, I'm the biggest critic of him. We'll have to wait and see. I'm keeping an eye on him. Yeah, it's very hard to say. I hope they give us a good match. That's always what I hope for the most. But if it's going to be what I think Miquatro can do, and Link as well, it's going to be a tough time.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see another Game 7. That was a lot of fun in the first round when we got to see Game 7. But in the end of the day, you know, it surprises me to see in the position that we are in. I mean, Damascus Gaming was the #1 team in NCSA, and then unfortunately they were eliminated. They got 0-2 in this bracket. Again, another team, Exalti, a team we expected to probably just 2-0, are now in the lower bracket, and Air is exactly where I expected them to be. I expected them to be here, but against Molotov and not against Exalti. So it kind of surprises me that we are kind of in this position. You know, what we can expect, in my opinion, will be either Air will bounce back. They'll be back in it. They'll be able to shake off everything that just happened last match, and we'll see a good game. Or there might be some shakiness that's going to happen, and Air's going to struggle. And I'm hoping it's option one. I'm hoping that we won't see mistakes coming out, and you know, just we see some good paced matches where everyone is relatively equal with each other. You know.
Yeah, that's what we always love to see. And I mean, Damascus versus Air White, it was a 4-3 affair. Molotov Gaming versus Exalti was, I believe, a 4-2 affair, if my memory serves me right. And the last two matches were both a 4-0. So, we've got a bit of everything. Let's see what Air White can do against Exalti. No dive. That map is... If somebody has a keyboard player, they're not going to want to play it. Then Tubes has been removed, given what we've seen. Actually, a good ban against Air White, all things considered. Because they can actually get a good round going, and Exalti go immediately into Twisted. With Air White's, just ignore at the top that it sasays lecrash.tm. That is Charles, because
Yeah.
but he wants to be funny. We like funny guys, huh? But backflip is picked. You're throwing a bit of a spanner in the works. I like it. That's what I expected Air White to do. Just throw in some spanners, make Exalti as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, when you're versing a good team like Exalti, you may want to kind of go with the Clown Fiesta style, because there are maps that are hard when you're under pressure. So like backflip is a hard map to do under pressure. Edge is a hard map to do under pressure. So it looks like they're gonna go with the pressured maps, the ones that just are kind of all over the place. You never know what to expect. Everyone's gonna be jumping and flipping and falling and crashing and you know like. I almost feel like I'm trying to think of another way to do the 5 Ds of dodgeball, but I couldn't think of every letter to start with the same letter. But you know, like that's what I think they're going to be going for. While we see Exalti is picking more of the maps that are more online with you know, pace driven. How fast can you drive? And oh, there we go. We got a Tempest pick. So if Air can get to that last match, we'll be able to watch some cool flips and spins in the air with the G-Force as the decider. So ice all the way towards the end. Your veins got to be cold as ice to survive those 2 last maps. That was the worst pun I can think of.
Yeah, well, ice running through their veins. Well, hopefully not enough. Hopefully there isn't only air running through their brain, as Air White are gonna try to hopefully get everything sorted out after that rinsing that they got from Molotov Gaming, literally burned to a crisp. But Exalti, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. I like the team. I love Mikotra. I've said it many times, and I will keep saying it. I love the guy. I hope he gets far and gets even further than he is currently at, and maybe with Link alongside him as well. But yeah, but GeForce, you know, when we look at Tempest, that was a good map for Air White. They were quite consistent on it, so looking forward to it. But can they actually survive until then? That's the difference. As we have Twisted, Backflip, Surf, Edge, Cosmos, Tempest, and GeForce. You're welcome, rookie, in chat. Hopefully you got that. If you didn't, unlucky. I'm not going to repeat it to you now. You are forced to watch the match, which you're supposed to do anyway. But without further ado, the final match of Group H wildcards is underway with Exalti versus Air White, Charles and Nats versus Link and Miquatro, fighting for that final spot in the qualifying matches. And Nats already off to the same start as he was last time on Twisted, with Charles needing to catch up to Link and Miquatro.
Unfortunately, again, a small little bump at the beginning. We will pop up the screen so that you can see where Nats is behind the rest of the crew, because you never know when it comes to these maps. Sometimes players just come out of nowhere, they pull off this crazy strat, and they start pulling up really close. So, good start for Exalti to get into this round as we are in Twisted and just really take the lead. 0.7 ahead as we go through that second to last checkpoint. And Quattro and Link coming around that one nicely, but Link comes up a little bit closer, has to release a little bit more than he probably wanted to, but still not the worst thing in the world as they are looking to finish this one up. And Air unfortunately gives another ace away. Quattro, I'm not sure if what happened there, but it seems like it almost looks like a little bit of BM, which, you know, I'm all for. I am all in favor for.
Well, unfortunately for you, it was an inside wall touch, so not BM. But it was a detriment enough that he was still able to come in second position. But you know, this is what we want, storylines. You know, you say it was a BM, I say it was an inside wall touch. Which one was it? Well, I don't know which camera angle you got for the match. So you know, viewers can believe what they want, and I'm sure they all want the drama. But for now, the only well, not really drama is Exalti having a really good time on Twisted. Like Charles and Nats are falling behind just on pace at the moment. Nats having a bit of a struggle, and Charles trying to catch up. But Link and Miquatro, I think, the reason why they picked this map, and definitely going into this with quite a bit of comfort. Miquatro again, I think he had a bit of a clip on the inside, allows Charles to come in, you know, you have a bit of a moment, sniff for that second position, but that line maybe does not make it as comfortable to go for it. So Exalti looking to get another ace and looking to make it a 6-0 of fair, and that is a 103.3, so you can clearly see that these boys have the times to go for it. And Charles and Nats maybe have to again just, say it, first map, it is what it is. That's how it goes.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you're going up against that kind of pace, and they pretty much pull it off almost 2 rounds in a row. How do you return? Like, how do you turn that around? And that's unfortunately making another A little bit of a mistake, but still in the fight for this one. It's going to be Charles and McQuattro up in front. Oh, I couldn't even tell you what the heck just happened, Charles. It just randomly flicked out to the right side.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you mentioned there was controller problems, or was it Nats that had those, or was it
No,
Charles?
It is Charles, so maybe. But the control problem is really only that he can't steer 100% in one of the turns, I believe. I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Fair enough.
Nats ends up getting a nose slide, so that's, yeah, it's going to be another round more than likely for Exalti to run away with the scoreline as they are looking to try to get this into a 9-0 position.
Yeah, and I want to draw attention to the stats as well that the chat have already noticed. I'm looking at McQuattro. 9% of crashes. So 9 out of 10 times he's close to the delta of the winner and 50% first position. That is absolutely insane. He drives a 104.1 as well. And that is the McQuattro we know and love. Absolutely clinical, a machine, and known for the, I guess you could say, the finish, you know, I guess you say finish, you know, absolutely, you know, sort of stone coldness is what he produces. And Link, of course, he is there, does clip on the inside. But as long as McQuattro is doing what he's doing, I mean, hey, kudos to him. Charles and Nats, well, they have to first avoid him from getting second position minimum. And that is proving to be a tough task already, as, oh, Charles has a bit of air time. So McQuattro again trying to just leave the server by just driving as fast as possible.
I mean, at this point, all we really need is McQuattro to be up 1 or 2. So, in a good position for this one as we're looking to draw this finish line. And, you know, it's a rough start again. It just seems, this is like the hard part about competing in gaming in general. It's just, sometimes, you know, you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or, you know, just you didn't have good breakfast or something, and everything you have, it goes out the window, you know. You just, what can you do? It just
Draw.
rough times, but 104.6 still in that 104 range, not bad by McQuattro, and it's to be expected. I mean, these are challenger players. These are, you know, challenger league players, so I'm not surprised.
Yep, that is a 10-1, and they take the miss. But we go on to backflip. Now, this could throw a spanner in the works, because we don't know what has happened here. Last time, of course, actually, Air White, I believe, if I remember correctly, this was the map they actually won against Damascus. This was the decider between the two, so they were able to actually take Damascus on this map. So this is not unfamiliar grounds for them. And looking at Lincoln McQuattro, there's no PB here, so this is the first time they are playing this map in a match as well. So now we get to see what Lincoln McQuattro can do on this map as well. So that is going to prove interesting for everybody involved. Now, it's a good tactic by Air White to go for this. Clearly they know something that we don't know. Maybe you know, Randomize. But with no time on the board for Lincoln McQuattro, I feel like there's been some, at least, inkling of why this map might have been picked.
A magician shall never reveal his tricks, and Trackmania players shall never reveal their tricks. But Charles reveals that he still knows there's a wall there, unfortunately, and will bang out there. Link will overtake Nats moving in to the pre-identity, as we like to call it. Nats really goes for that far right side, but not enough speed, and McQuattro ends up actually respawning. And Nats is going to have to respawn here 100%. He's going to attempt this?
Huh? You know, bold move. We'll see if it works.
Nope.
Definitely not. So goes for the respawn again.
Yeah, and just like that, we will not see them be able to pull this one off. And we got an identity camera coming up here as the players are going to be approaching here. Link is going to be the first one into the identity and does a nice job. McQuattro will be the second one to go into the identity. And nicely to the front. Doesn't need to do a backflip. They don't always have to do the backflip, and Charles will finish this one up. And sideways, side flip, cool.
Yep, that is an ace for Exalti, so they continue the trend for now of starting the lead of the matches. So looking good for them. Charles and Nats, I mean, definitely they have the possibilities, you know. There were still some massive caps as Charles again, it doesn't look, he didn't steer at all, so either he's having a bit of a lapse of judgment or something happened there, and that's also not getting the best wall bounce there. So McQuattro and Link are running away with it, and that looked a very interesting, very strange input by Charles, so maybe there is something more to it than that. Hopefully nothing too serious, no major controller stuff, but that looked very odd as item. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. But for now, Link and McQuattro making it look comfortable, up in the lead. They have 3 seconds to work with, 3 to 2 seconds. Link even more technically because he's the one leading. McQuattro and Link do make that jump as well. So all good in the hood for now. But can they do the identity? You know, it is 3 to 5 seconds. But if you don't get the identity, that Nats and Charles are back in business. But Link and McQuattro are not going to even give an inch or a mile. They're going to take it all. And that is a clean ace as well with a 107.3 and a 108 flat as well. So 6-0 on the board. Nats and Charles have to go again.
It's so hard to really say, like, what can you do to turn it around? I mean, it just, at the end of the day, it just comes down to, like, stop making mistakes. You know, you have to clean up your game. Otherwise, you're just going to continuously struggle. And that's exactly what's happening, as you saw Charles right there makes a mistake. It seems like everything's just gone in their head. You know? Like, anything that can go wrong is, in fact, going wrong. So, a little unfortunate, but what can you do? You know, as an NCSA member, it's rough to watch this, but finally we're starting to see some response from Air as Nats is in second place, looking to chase down McQuattro. Link is 2 seconds behind, so that does allow Charles to potentially come back up as well if there is a mistake up ahead. And Nats, it will still be able to pull. Oh no! Pushing too hard and unfortunately flies out. So it's not looking too hot for our boys over on the NCSA side.
Yeah, and your mic cut off exactly like Nats falling off the map as well. So currently McQuattro taking the first position. Link is second, so it is another ace for Air White as well. So it is a tough time for Air White. They just have to hunker down, and there's just nothing much you can do at this moment. You have to. They went for the Hail Mary pick, but clearly McQuattro and Link are more than happy to take the challenge on head first. And yeah, Charles and Nats have to reproduce exactly what Exalted just did. 3 aces in a row to have a chance, but Nats gets a really bad bounce off the wall. So no matter what happens, unless Link and McQuattro decide to give mercy at the moment, and both, well, they can't even DNF because I believe DNF is actually disabled. So they have to literally stop and let Charles and Nats through to give them the win. So, well, Charles can at least do his part and go for first position. Whether Nats can claw his way back is a tough task. It will need a miracle and plenty of respawns from Mick and Link. But Charles also having the respawn, so it only makes it a bit more difficult.
I say that 5 times fast. Mick and Link.
Oh, it rhymes well for them, Mick and Link.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, unfortunately, Charles at that point, which is playing for stats, doesn't work out, as we do have a mistake from Link, who's just, all he's got to do is hit the CP. Charles will fly by and look to try to get that second. Oh, never mind. Charles hits everything and anything. Oh, he made it! Ow!
That finish is very long. It extends very far to the ground. So even if you somehow make the jump, you can fall all the way down, and there's still a finish for you because that gate is massive. But it is a massive win for Exalted with a 12-0, and you kind of want to think that the opening play for Air White against Damascus was the El Grande finale for them. And after that, they've just gotten Molotov. And we know that Molotov and Exalted gave each other a fierce fight. So it's gonna they're going from basically from the rain to the waterfall, or from the fire to the lava. Whatever thing you can come up as a comparison, that is where Air White is. Anything but a breeze for them at the moment.
Yeah, they need to be a tornado if they want to come back.
Tornado is probably the best what they need. They really need to just make this match all their own and just
Yeah.
throw it all the way across the board. But it starts from here, and it is Sturf, which they didn't do so well against Damascus Gaming when I first saw them here, if my memory is right. But Miquatro is somewhere completely out of this match, so hopes for Air White, but they have to beat Link.
Yeah, I think Miquatro was looking for Easter eggs and seeing if there was anything hanging out on the side there, but unfortunately there isn't anything there. So yeah, no, Miquatro is going to be pretty much out of this race for now. 5 seconds behind, but Link is just pulling away, and this is, if I remember correctly, the Exalti pick. Yeah, it's the third map, so it is an Exalti pick. They're going to be the ones that are going to be running away with this one more than likely. If we get an example of what we saw last time, it's so rough to see this happening, you know. Wait, made a mistake.
Link at the respawn. Nats has a chance if he can do this turn faster than Link.
Nope,
Not
he's
quite.
Not gonna be able
He was
to pull that
just
one out.
going a wider line. He was trying to gather the speed, but Link was far enough ahead. But Charles comes in third. It's a draw. Miquatro wasn't able to recover from that earlier mistake, and it does bring in a draw. So they are going to go into equal footing into the next round.
Yeah, they were able to turn it around a little bit. You know, finally, Air has waken up a little bit, enough just to get themselves on the board. You never want to walk away with a 12-0. Unfortunately, that was what last game looked like. But Charles and Nats looking to turn this one around. Miquatro now in the battle. Excuse me. We do have a fair fight coming into this one, nicely into the water skid, and Charles. Nats need to try to maintain as much speed as they go into this part here as you want to come around. Whoa! I thought Charles was going to touch his wheels, and if you do, you're going to end up doing a weird drift around here. Unfortunately, clipping the wall, so Miquatro will jump up into second place. Nats not too far behind. We still have a bit of a battle in our hands as we are going to be approaching the identity quite shortly.
It's gonna be where the boys are separated from the men, and whoever touches the wall is in absolutely mud, because they are fragile, so you do not want to touch any of these walls. But Link and Miquatro are not even gonna give it a chance for Charles, as they drive a very good race, all things considered. But even then, it wasn't enough, as Exalti come in with the ace, and that was actually a good round, all things considered. There was only that one little hiccup that was by one of the members of Air White, but overall a very good round. So again, it just shows there is the possibility that they can get these rounds in, but when Nats and Charles already fall off a bit at the start, like Nats is at the moment, it just gives more room for Miquatro and Link to take those points. But they have a dream that is beating Exalti, so it's not over until it's over. We've seen that many times before. But for now, Link and Miquatro are taking the helm of this race, with Charles in hot pursuit and Nats shadowing in the wings.
I don't know what to say, man. It's so rough to watch games like this, especially because this is a qualifier match. You would think like the match would be a lot closer, but Air is struggling a lot, and got a little cool identity cam. I gotta say, it looks really cool from that perspective. I've been quite enjoying looking over at my second monitor to watch all the boys go zooping by, but Charles makes a mistake. Nats will be the one to follow in. A 101.4, not bad at all. Right around that 0.5 difference with the world record by Ipos. Or Ipos. I didn't 100% understood how to say his name.
Oh, it's probably many ways. That is actually the time that was driven in, I believe, in Time Attack as well. So, but that was in the last chance qualifier Time Attack, of all things that was run. So Epos really went for it at the time, and yeah, that's the time that is up there. So you can definitely see what is possible there, as Charles goes a bit too ambitious on the inside, and he has to completely stand still, respawn as well, putting Nats in a predicament, because he cannot now allow any mistakes, because Mick and Link, God, I should just say Miquatro and Link, I'm just making it more complicated for myself. But Nats is trying to chase the members of Exalti, and that's the only way he can give Air White another round, because if it's an ace on the board, it's a track point in the score. Nice little rhyme for everybody involved, but can Nats do it? I have to wait and see because Charles is completely out of it. So all the hopes and dreams for Air White are on Nats, but they are closing with every single turn as Link and McQuattro are not even giving anything out of this. And Nats also goes a bit too inside in the final one, giving the ace for Exalti. Very good performance by Exalti. I can only imagine what that match between Ignite and Exalti was. So yeah, that's one of those where you think that we could have been in that match, but you know, fingers crossed. We saw an amazing affair between Damascus and Air White, but for now, Air White versus sweep again on the cards.
Yeah, we do have a reverse sweep option, and now it's going to come down to Edge. This is one of those maps where everything and anything can happen. And, you know, it's a big question mark at this point. Do we expect... So there's no GPS, Charles. There's no GPS. You can't look how to drive this.
I mean, he's driven this before, and he has a respectable time. But again, Link and McQuattro, and there is no PB at least that shows up for us. So again, it shows that Edge was not a map that got played last time. But I swear to God that they played against Molotov Gaming. But I could be wrong. I could be really wrong there. Maybe I just remember something there. But it doesn't matter. I'm sure we'll see what the PB is going to be for Link and McQuattro, as Nats and Charles have an uphill task to reverse sweep Exalti on Edge as well. A very difficult map to get clean, as Link is already finding out with the first respawn. So gives Nats and Charles a bit of breathing room. But against McQuattro, probably the worst one to go up against, because that's well, I guess Nats and Charles can send me a PayPal link later for helping them catch the first win. But McQuattro is having a bit of struggle, but so is Nats, and McQuattro is back in the lead like nothing's changed. Two players going for the inside line, and Nats going for the outside. Oh my God, McQuattro took every bit of that booster and then some to go there.
Yeah, I'm generally surprised that McQuattro survived that one. As we go into this, Nats goes into inside, and that's going to be it for him. He's going to have to respawn and allow Link to jump up into that third place position. Charles will take first, though, so we are looking at potentially a draw. Nats
is a draw indeed, but Nats, I mean, Nats wanted to go for it, but then it's like, why do I have to go for this? It doesn't matter anyway. I'm gonna do it next round. That's the plan.
Draw.
So we'll see how that will pan out. But 106.6, so it does show that McQuattro and Link are vulnerable on this one. At least, you know, gods can bleed. It's been minor bleeds. It's more like a scratch at the moment. But maybe again, Air White can do a bit more. We'll see a start by everybody apart from Charles's mate. He does get the clip. It is a very, very slim chance to make the jumps. You don't want to go too wide and you don't want to go too tight. So it's a fine margin there. It has to be just right, like the porridge in the Tale of the Bears, or the Goldilocks, to be more exact. But for now, at least, Nats is the only one fighting for Air White. Actually, what happened to McQuattro? I completely missed it, because Charles is actually somehow in third position and Nats is first. Yeah. So things are happening on the track, and it's all going topsy-turvy.
I think McQuattro just knew he wasn't going to have enough speed. Everything looked fine, but then all of a sudden he just respawned, so not 100% sure what happened there, but as we go into the first part of the identity, if we can call it an identity, all four of them seem to have made it through, but it really comes down to this last bit. Nats and Charles land twice. Charles gets a little shaky. What the heck happened? Charles goes flying, and unfortunately an ace just giving up like that from bouncing off the side.
It is at the moment currently the situation that it is either draw 25 or Air White gets the lead of this round. And clearly Charles threw 25 cards in that round, so definitely clearly not wanting to go for the lead. It was a very wonky landing, and it's very hard to predict what happens because you are wet wheeled with a reactor and Link is respawning. So again, Air White is given every single opportunity to take a round win, but God forbid, nothing is allowing them. It's either McQuattro, heavens above, or the map itself. So we'll see how things will go for now. They are again in a similar position where Charles and Nats are chasing down McQuattro, but Nats is absolutely dead. So dead that Link He's even able to catch him up. So 1v1 up front, 1v1 at the back.
Oh no, Nat, Charles, excuse me, ends up making that big mistake as we go into the first part of it. No, okay, this is what I mean. Clown Fiesta kicking in. McQuattro misses that one. Link will be able to land it, and Nats will be the one to follow, but it really comes down to whether or not Charles will make it. He does land properly this time. Nats will not have enough speed to overtake, but that will be a victory for Air, and I think for the first time in a while, Air is taking the lead in this the series.
Yeah, and for everybody involved, looking at Exalti, they're like, yep, pick Edge. Against Exalti, noted. And Air White at the moment enjoying a lead for the first time in the match. And McQuattro enjoying a mouthful of that corner. As Link is the only one in front, and Nats and Charles are again chasing down a member of Exalti, but this time it is Link. So maybe a different opponent, different outcome. We'll have to wait and see. Now it's Link who has to carry Exalti around the corner, and McQuattro, well, he's not far. So any respawn could be still a detriment to Air White, but we'll have to wait and see. Link first has to hold on, and Nats and Charles has to chase him down.
Yeah, no, McQuattro is still within fighting distance. Nats is the one that's going to be taking on Link as we go into the first part here. This is where Nats has been struggling a little bit. He's been cutting it a little early, but this time he nails it perfectly. All 4 players actually make it through properly. So now it's just coming to the finish line. Link will finish that. Nats will follow. Charles is doing something funky again, and he may actually... Wait! Oh, no!
No way!
Victory.
Ain't no
Oh,
way
Charles
that
is having
happened.
the wonderful time of his life in this end. Twice that has happened. And twice has been McQuattro the one to serve it. Also very nice time by Link. He did a 105.2. That got completely unmissed. But, you know, the woes of people, well, you go from a good time to a respawn. A classic in Trackmania World Tour. And Charles and Nats are looking to chase down McQuattro. Well, Charles actually
Charles
a bit
also
behind.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's Nats and McQuattro up in front. So again, Edge proving to be a very difficult nut to crack for both teams at the moment, because nobody's really finding any consistency, and McQuattro is finding every corner possibly to clip. And Nats has a possibility to take the lead, but he is taking... Oh,
no.
but McQuattro hits the sign, having to respawn. Charles has had to respawn. Link is now with McQuattro. So Nats... Oh, McQuattro missed his jump, has to respawn again. Link is the one who actually makes it. Charles is still somehow
Nats
coming
respawn.
up at the... Oh my god, Nats has to respawn, and Link is up in front. What is going on? Nobody's feeling comfortable on this map, and it's just a topsy-turvy everywhere around.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, every player this round has hit that respawn button. Link ends up bouncing around. That's gonna allow Nats to get in there. Link still just needs to cross the finish line. He does, and then McQuattro is gonna just skip along. He's still but Charles is so far back, unfortunately. Was not able to rebound from that. Another draw. Trolla emotes are coming out soon, because we are here 6-6. Moving on in this fourth game, excuse me. Man, it just everything in it. I told you, Edge is a clown fiesta. Like anything and everything can happen. Even the best of the best can get tripped up on this map.
Hey, and what did I say beforehand on a previous match? It doesn't matter what the winning time is, as long as you are first. And a 114.6 is not a blistering time, but it is a first place time. And for the first time ever, everybody has made...
Nope.
Almost everybody has made the start of the map. I couldn't even finish my sentence, and that falls off into oblivion. And Charles is the one trying to chase down McQuattro and Link, but having a tough time of it. And yeah, now Exalti are doing what they, I think, wanted to do already from the start of this match, but took a while to get there. And that is to ace Air White and take a commanding lead on Edge, unless something goes completely wrong and Charles is actually first. Goes for a risky jump, gets the checkpoint at least, but that's not gonna do you well, because Link and McQuattro have finally found some air.
Okay, he got it.
Link overtakes McQuattro, but it doesn't matter. It's a 9-6 on the board, and Air, well, Maybe it's the air in the wings is finally caught up to them. They had plenty of they had chances. Like, you cannot fault them. They've been given options, but they've clearly chosen the path that they are on now.
Yeah, no, you are right. And I did see a comment in the chat asking, did no one practice these maps yet? These maps are extremely hard. I encourage you that if you have club, to try these maps out yourself. 100% encourage you to try them out yourself. Go to the World Tour Club and just play them. They are extremely difficult to, like, you can pull them off, you can finish them, but they're extremely to pull them off with a fast time and pressured by other players. And heck, even a cast and everyone watching you, that's gotta get on. He does, but unfortunately makes a mistake there. So we'll hop on board with the Exalti boys and see if anything happens between the two of them. The Quattro will opt to go for the riskier line, and Link will go for the not so risky, but that's fine. Works out for both of them, as Nats is just now touching the boost, but it won't matter because you need both of Air to be up in front. It is looking like unless something happens here, it's going to be a full-on sweep for the Exalti boys to move on in the whole World Championship tournament. Congratulations, Exalti, for pulling it off with a 105.1. Okay, well.
No, that's if you want to close out a match, I think that's the most perfect way to do it. Confidence and everybody as well. I see what Charles and Nats have wrote in-game chat as well. And heads up, boys. You didn't give anybody, you didn't waste anybody's time. You gave up an amazing performance. You should be proud of what you achieved. Already being here and playing these maps is already an exceptional feat that you put in the time and effort to practice these maps, because 99% of people have not even seen these maps, and let alone you put in the time and effort. So well done to Exalti, and also well done Air White. They gave it their best, but sometimes you just, there is a better team at the end of every match.
Yep.
But in this case, it is Exalti. So, but kudos to them for giving it a shot. But Exalti and Molotov Gaming are the ones that are going for the qualifying matches later on. But what do you think? Overall, happy? I know Air White. You would have loved to see them go 7 maps of fair. That's what you love to see your boys do. But I guess for today, at some point you just gotta face the facts, I guess, or it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, like you said, it's not gonna happen. It looks like almost every NCS team is officially been eliminated, as we do have one more left for all you Americans and all you NCSA players out there. We have one last hope, and that is Yep Team, and they are not in a pretty bracket. So
Yep, in a group of D, aka group of death.
Yes.
Basically, is very, very surrounding for them. They have Sun Esport, Easy Dream, and Trident Esport. So for those of you who know who those are, it's a proper group and a half. So yeah, they have their work cut out for them, but with the good practice, you never know.
You never know. But you know what? In the end of the day,